There's always a fucking dog here, by the way. Or at least there has always consistently been for me. Let's go in this room. Oh, my stomach hurts just thinking about it. Alright, none of these guys. Yep, there we go. Shut the door, shut the door. Where the fuck was it? Was it just around the corner? There it is. Oh, I knew it was out here somewhere. I walked over here. It must have been just around there or something. Yeah, originally when I saw this, I thought this area was fantastic. I'm like, this is like the perfect little space for like literally, it's a survivor area. But how cool is it? It's like the perfect size little room, like semi okay metal insulation. So yeah, this is also how I learned about like railings and staircases and all this sort of like corner bits and stuff like this is actually observing this place. It really did help me learn a lot about this game. Um, and also, I think one of these had it used to have like a little hollow spot in it that you could get stuff out of. But yeah, I ended up bringing all of this across. So I think it went all the way. I'll be able to get out of here because of parkour. It went, I'm pretty sure, all the way up to here, out, so that it stayed within our walls. However, it was well supported. Like I had to have 4 rows of pillars, so I kept those for sure. They were pretty solid. They're all metal. I had one set of like wood going straight up, and then I had over like up against the building as well an extra set coming up from like here, I think, just to give it the proper amount of support because I think you can only go out by like 4 bricks from a central brick, 4 or 5. It's one of the two. Anyway, this is where we kept our water for obvious reasons. However, you'd be surprised if you keep taking water from this thing, it eventually does go down quite a bit. So the other thing I also learned is back then I didn't have parkour. And this is very deep, and there's no actual way to get out of here unless you can get up onto that and then get up onto this and then get out. So for a long time, we ended up having to put blocks in there so we could get in there. And then we found that the characters would try to swim anyway, so then we had to make ramps. But yeah, I ended up building this way up, and my intention was I was going to enclose this like that, and I was going to end up adding more water. So I actually did end up bringing water in from like nearby lakes and stuff like that. And it did kind of top it up a little bit because I used a lot. I took it down to like probably only 1 brick deep within all the recipes and various stuff that I did because I did like a lot of cooking and I did a substantial quantity of building. Um, but yeah, that took us outside. So now, how do I get down into that? Right, I went outside instead of going down. So I go back down. By the way, we kept this. I didn't show you this. So they've got this like solid ass wall here. I wanted to turn this into like a solid door. That would have been really great if I had got rid of all about here. But I never ended up doing that. I kind of just kept it as it was. Where's my drone? You must be thirsty from all of the various things I made you drink. And now I don't have water. Um, oh, yeah. Also, how to make buckets is filling the water tanks faster. Um, so you've got an idea for that? That'd be pretty cool to see. Because the thing is, like, I like this place. I think I have like a really strong soft spot for this building. Just because of the amount of time I spent on it, the amount of work that I did in it. And like as I said, I gutted everything and I filled it up entirely with spikes. Because at the time, spikes were more like better than having like just boxes because like the zombies could tunnel through a box system, but they basically had like the issue with the spikes that hurt themselves and die. So it's pretty good. Can I shut this? Uh, and get rid of it. So you've done it before, just haven't worked on water tanks in ages. How to? Yeah. So making buckets, like I ended up having an inventory's worth of buckets. And so what I'd do is I'd literally go out to a lake or an ocean and you'd scoop up water just the exact same way as you would as you get a glass of water. And I'd fill up my water like source, like which is that reserve out there. And whenever I needed a glass of water for something, I'd just go scoop up some glasses of water and go back to cooking. And it was fantastic because I didn't have to run half a map. Mind you, in here is also, should also be semi-submerged in water. This part's not. The next part should be. There's a lot of bombs in here too. So this is the other thing too. If you want to avoid accidentally blowing yourself up, you go the other way. Go out through the tree. Now, to my knowledge, there's only like a couple of small purses and stuff like that, which is worth it for the money. Like, it's worth it for a couple of coins. These zombies in here can detonate this if they stack up double. Just gotta be careful. A lot of spikes. These are like the spikes that I would use. They're basically the spikes that I'm talking about that I filled up this place with. Go down. Also, it's a back and forth flow system. So, I didn't realize the zombies could swim. We just confirmed they can swim. Actually, like, swim on the top of the water. I haven't tried to drain the ocean. I imagine if all these water physics work kind of the same way, theoretically it should be possible, right? I think what I'm supposed to have done is probably walked in the water all the way along here because there is, I think, another purse or something. And I'm trying to just figure out how to get down without blowing myself up. There we go. So I think go around the room and I went the wrong way, as usual. All of that should break, roughly. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it would end up dumping you back in the water and you have to go back to the start and start again. Now, I'll shut this. It's almost night time too, so down through here. And you gotta remember, like, everywhere I continue to walk, I gutted this. How did you come from? Maybe up there. Yeah, there's a lot of iron in here. There's a lot of parts. Yeah, lighting stuff. Alright. Now this is basically pretty close. Because I know that there's a tunnel over where is it? There. There's a tunnel there you can drop down. And I'll show you how to get to that in a little bit. I have no reason to walk down on this like floor area here, but you can avoid this whole section and essentially triggering any zombies by coming down over there. Be ones in here. Shoot you extra because you don't die. Shut that. Yeah, so I should be able to get up here with my parkour. Nope. Okay, that's fine. But I saw your feet. Okay. And it's almost nighttime, so it's going to get difficult soon. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So there's this grate here, and you can drill that out and just drop straight down and go to that box without having to deal with a single zombie in this place at all. And like I said, I'll show you how to get to it in a moment. I'm gonna just go up there in a moment, but this is basically right next to the end room. Alright. Cool. Give me this. I'll shut that. So up here, if you come up here instead, you walk out onto like the top of here. So I could have taken them by a lot better surprise. However, if you notice, there's a little ladder sneaky over here. Just jump up on this. And you open up your trapdoor, and you're in a little like sneaky tunnel. And you go back down here, and there's purses and stuff. And like I said, you can drill that out, and you can just drop down, and you put like a box inside, and you're sweet. And of course, if you're good about it, you drill this out, and you put like a couple of boxes over there, or you jump on that, and you get into the next one. So it's also very good. There is, to my knowledge, 2 tunnels in here, I think. That's the one that I remember. I don't remember where the second one is. I think it's in a wall in a pipe over there somewhere. And it leads to outside, which I did not find out till very, very late in having the space. Too late, in fact, for it to actually have been like practical to have kept the space as long as I did. Let's Get that. Now, I'm about to walk into the area that actually has zombies. An actual, like, good solid section of them. I don't need to take the steroids, but I'm gonna take them. Let's see. So, there should be... I normally come at this from the opposite direction. Oh man, that was so lucky when I took out the leg. Okay, so I normally come through this in the opposite direction. I normally come from that end. There's the door that I'm talking about. And that was like, what, 4 zombies? There should be a couple of extra, actually. That is a pitfall. So if I just run over this for a quick second. You gonna fall down? There we go. Okay, maybe I can see down it. So it used to be super, super deep with water. And over there is the same kind of thing, but it's not anymore. And it would take you out and through to where that water room is, where it's like a maze and all the bombs and stuff. And you'd basically have to just swim your way over there and find your way out. It was annoying as hell. But yeah, in here, I think here's another tunnel. This is it. This is where you're supposed to come up. Yeah, so when you fall down that thing over here, you're supposed to swim all the way over here, as if you're supposed to know, right? Like you're literally like drowning. But that's where you come up. So that's the 2 tunnels inside, and like I said, there's a tunnel outside in amongst like a pipe in the wall. But there's also up here. I think that's normal area, and yeah, there's almost always a zombie up here. So is it? You can can't taste the sugar in your coffee because of the biscuits. I do find that, like I said, I like having like a nice, like, I don't know, I drink coffee, black, white, sugar, no sugar, milk, no milk, obviously black or white. Like I think I have a tablespoon of coffee in general. And now that we use pods, I use 10 to 12 pods for like the extra strength. And sometimes I'll double drain them. But yeah, if you're dunking biscuits in it, you get like all the deliciousness of coffee in a biscuit form. And yeah, it's amazing. And the biscuit's just like a nice sweet addition, but the coffee really does remain bitter. These are the 3 boxes, a crate, and I think your weapons and your food that you get in here. I don't need seeds, but she could probably do with some food and water for the love of God. Like I said, I'm not going to probably be able to carry all of it, but I'm going to try. I'm also not opening that goddamn door until I actually have to. Let's see. Like I said, this scales up. So when you first come down here, if you're a level 1, you get like blunderbuss and some other stuff. Like, it's pretty good. I don't need that, so open this. I'm a bit concerned about having done that at night. Let's see, some good tools. So you would normally get like an axe or maybe even luck out and get a hammer early game here. Yeah, you get some parts. Obviously, like whatever's relevant at the time. Like it might not be that per se, but you know, maybe something. Let's see, some health. So you normally almost always get some kind of pills and bandage of some sort here. And lock crate. So obviously when you're really low level, what we ended up doing is we ended up drilling this out, or I guess mining it, to make sure it was unlocked so we could just keep coming back. Scrap that, drop you, scrap, get out, scrap. Nope, can't scrap that one. Alright, let's see. I must have all my room taken up. It is chance. Like, Grim has a very good point about this. So in this game, you've got a few factors that affect your outcome of what you get in a box. Sometimes it could be as simple as you have enough luck. So, okay, so let's have a look at this. So first thing that affects is your loot stage. I've got a very, very high loot stage because I'm very far along in the game. I've killed a lot of zombies. I've, done a lot of quests. I've got a lot of XP, all that. My loot stage is extremely high for this game. And then your next factor also is um, what, like, how far you are in the game as well. So if you're like between level 1 to 10, and even if like you've got a high loot stage in that, like you've got really good odds of getting something good for your level. And then in here you also got lucky looter, um, and I think there's another one as well that does it. And the idea is obviously you get better odds, better percentage of gear in that for your level, for your loot stage, all that. So the higher that is, the better it is. And I think there's a book. There's Lucky Looter book that also improves it even more. Um, and Wasteland Treasures is more like digging and stuff. But yeah, once you've got all of those, like I said, I've got a very high loot stage. I also have basically a maxed out Lucky Looter and I have a maxed out Lucky Looter book. So from my perspective, I'm about as max as you can possibly get for looting stuff in this game. So anything I pick up is always going to be like basically level 6 stuff or your full tools. Like I'm not going to get a nail gun between level 1 and 10. If I do, it's extremely lucky. Like I have to be very, very lucky. Like you can also have the candies as well that can buff up all of this on top of it for I think it's like 3 to 5 minutes. I know it doesn't last very long. It may actually only be about a minute or so, but it all matters. So if I was coming down here, if I started the game, if I was on day one and I happened to get so lucky as to be right next to this, I think the main thing I would probably do is I would probably get a pickaxe or a stone shovel or something and I'd dig out here. And I'd work my way down here and I'd probably entice a few zombies to climb up that staircase that's in here, and I'd slowly, like, stick them a couple of times and get rid of them. These zombies are slowly working their way in. So, yeah, I'd slowly kill them as best I could. I'd probably put down a bedroll across the road, honestly. Um, and then once I could get in here, if I had candies or if I had even a Lucky Looter book or if I had perks, the first thing I'd do is probably throw it into Lucky Looter and open these. And I'd immediately be probably better set up than if I looted randomly across the map. Even on a low loot level, Brimstones had pulled out like tier 6 purple stuff from trash bags with like Lucky Looter and stuff like that. Like, yeah. Mind you, Grimstone has this knack for pulling stuff out of the trash. It's truly impressive. This also usually has spikes, just so you know. It's not necessarily bare like this. At least when I come down this direction, it's not normally bare. So normally, if you drop down here, you'd walk into this room. Obviously, you'd have to mine out this door or mine out the wall. I think the wall's easier. And then bam, you've got 4 or 5 zombies, bunch of boxes, bunch of loot. You're good. It's a pretty sweet deal. Now, I'm about to make a heap of racket getting up here. So, alright. So you don't even have to get rid of the tree if you don't want to. I say that as I absolutely demolished the tree. Alright. So, I'm going to turn my light off. And I'm not safe, but I'm safer. Just going to climb up this thingy over here. Yeah, I would probably honestly do another water base at some point. If I had to pick a really hardy POI in the Greenlands area, I would. Also, we ended up making like here, like no, downstairs from here. Sorry, so up and in here. So this whole floor in here, we ended up leveling out straight across, and we made this a bedroom. However, the interesting thing was that the zombies that were punching and kicking and stuff down here actually would damage the walls all the way up to here because the integrity of the lower building was too structurally impaired. Oh yeah, you and your bloody tier 5 rocket launcher in the dumpster, and as a level 10, nobody ever give Grimstone a goddamn freaking rocket launcher. It's just asking for everybody to get blown up. So yeah, anyway, I ended up building up over here, and in here was like this nice little like mushroom cave And I think it's easier to go this way and then go that way, but it's a lot further. There we go. Yeah, so I ended up leveling this off completely, straight across, um, from I think that roof height, roughly maybe 1 square above that roof height, straight across. And that was our helipad. And over on this side, all this I built up. So it was over the top of that, I think, eventually. And it was a greenhouse. So we had a massive greenhouse up here, which, by the way, the roof collapsed like twice because, like I said, the structural integrity of down lower was not good. The other thing I noticed too was there's like a drain system actually next door to here, so that for me at least would have to be filled in. It's also this big like drive-in theater as well. So yeah, this was a giant water base, and I can tell you what, the land claim does not fully surround this area. So I think we put it like somewhere in there, over there somewhere. And what we found out is that there is a maximum up and a maximum down that these blocks go to. And because this goes so far underground, it wasn't actually protected to a degree underground. So a lot of underground kept respawning, and we'd get birds spawning up here above us, just like perched on our roof because it was outside of it as well. And that really sucked. And of course, I ended up, because we're in the desert, I had this whole section behind my base. It was just open area, so, which I ended up, it was like a mountain, right? It wasn't like a big one, it was maybe like a hill, I guess, a large, long, sloping hill. I ended up digging it all out level to the ground and just planting trees like crazy. I also had inside of like this section here, I obviously that was a wall going straight across. I had spikes too wide the whole way around the inside of the wall, anywhere that we weren't constantly in the area. That way, if anything did spawn or if anything did get in, it would have to go through the spikes first. And by the time it went through 3 metal spikes outside, well, technically I guess 6 because they couldn't crawl back then. Only one of them could. So they'd have to work their way through 6 spikes tall. Well, yeah, 6 tall and what? Let me just do a count here. Yeah, no, I think 6 in total metal spikes, plus 2 concrete blocks for the wall, 2 deep, so 4 concrete blocks, and then they'd have to go through the wooden spikes that were on the inside. And then by that point, if I hadn't have come back and done a quick run around and uh, checked on the integrity of all the spikes outside and found the hole, like it was pretty fair if we got nibbled on at that point. But generally speaking, it would only take them so long to get through all the spikes. I would only find them before they did a lot of damage to the wall, which was really good. But yeah, it ended up being like super, super tall. Like if I come back over here, I think the wall from memory was level with this. So where you see that wall there, it came up to level here. I think it was like 9 blocks tall. Because it's currently, that's 4.5, because that top block is a half. So it just kept coming up by like another four solid blocks. Yeah, it was mental. And then we also had like this nice like metal railing on it and stuff too. That was pretty cool. I'm gonna head back over to this trader because I have stuff to sell as well as oh shit. Oh yeah, the amount of times we fell off this thing and broke our legs because we never had parkour. Ended up having this whole area under here as hay bales. Especially since like we upgraded our parkour like enough to stop that from happening, but our visitors did not. Yeah, I would probably, if I was next to, don't put your feet on the thing, Azula. She's trying to hit my macro keys. Um, yeah, if I was building in that place on this map, I probably wouldn't take it with this next to it. Even though it's an absolutely massive water source, and I would probably spend the time bucketing that out into that thing and seeing how high I can get. The thing that would probably bother me is the fact that because this is dipped out and it's outside of the actual land claim area, is anything like this, the zombie would get stuck in and they'd just smack against that wall and break it until they eventually got in. Just noticing that these kind of go somewhere. They just go to the end of each other. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, yeah, those barrels. I had like 200 of them, I think. 300 on top of my water tower. Worst decision of my life. That just brought in everything. Um, you want to take over the waterworks, Grim? I don't know. It's a hell of a project. It's like going back out to front. Like, it's. I don't think the land claim would cover it, even if we had like the two separate land claims, like we tried to do on one of the maps. I don't think it would work. Because the only way I would probably take on one of these again is, like I said, I would probably keep like this front wall. Let me get up here. I'm so used to like how to walk along this place too. I still remember it all. See, I would probably cut it off there, straight across there. This would be like a playable area of space. We'd have that tower and stuff, and we'd have like some of the facade there. And I'd probably keep this as like a pendant area. However, I would definitely, I would definitely cut it off back here, where this like little skinny fence is, and I'd build this up and just kind of like I'd probably forget that that's anything and just like absolutely clear it. Like zombies would be spawning into like mid-air spots and stuff like that, but they'd be great. Um, Big group working on a big project. Like it's not a bad idea. It's just everybody's got to have like the same kind of like vision for it. Like it was great having the garage door with this place and having a space in here and stuff. My only problem with this building was that it had this massive empty internal space and went so deep because all of under here is actually active space that you've got to kind of like dig out and get rid of. Plus, there's that one fucking dog that spawns over there. That was like the bane of my existence coming back into this space. I'm like, I have this cleared. I also love this door. It's not a working door, but I love the concept of it. I should probably get on my bike and head over to Traders. Which way is it? There is a thing that way. Is that the thing? No, it's not. Where did I put my flag? That way. Oh, that's right. There's a drop. I've got to go to drop first. Not that I have any freaking space, but we're gonna try. I don't know. I'd say if it didn't have the drains right next to it, because I'd have to like clear that crap out just so that they don't tunnel in. It would be interesting. No, that'll be right. You should check out if the subtitles work at all. I did notice that like if you like go near like the side chat bar, there's a Streamlabs option for closed caption subtitles. You can literally change them around to being as big or little as you want. So you don't actually have to listen to me if you don't want to. If you just want to look over and occasionally see how it like tries to translate my Australian wording, I think it's actually quite fun, like pretty funny. I've been like driving around looking at some of these places because I would like to find somewhere. I do love the waterworks, but I remember it just being such a massive project. I would love to find a building that I could see and be like, yes, I want that. Like the ranger station, I had my eye on that for a couple of maps actually, and when I did eventually get it, um, I already had such an idea of what to do. Like I probably wouldn't take any of these like big farming plot places. It's just a lot of land, and yeah, okay, you get dirt, you get soil straight away, but like I don't know, the buildings themselves don't really like interest me that much. I'm sure there's a trader right here. I can just pop in, sell off some of my crap. Before I go anywhere. There we go. Oh man, I am getting so hungry today. Wait, did it just ping me somewhere? Am I on the right side? Oh yeah, it's still morning. That's fine. I'm so confused. I got off and I'm like looking at the trader. I'm like, why aren't I able to go inside? And I'm like, that's right, it's morning. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I am so hungry today because I had last night. I made the most amazing bloody sushi rice and like a really nice sort of, I don't know how to say it. It's like a soft. Um, it's like omurice eggs but not like curled over itself. So it's like that, but open. So like really soft, creamy, um, sort of just lightly fully cooked. Um, that's all right. Thanks for having a look at it though. Yeah, these eggs are amazing. The funny thing was, I kind of messed up. So as I do when I'm cooking, I make mistakes, and I sat there and I'm like, oh, I'd really like to. I know you can't, or you're not supposed to cook in sesame oil, but I'm like, I'd really like to cook some of this in sesame oil just for flavor, you know. And so anyway, I cracked out the sesame oil and I put that in. I poured the right amount. I was comfortable with it, and then I proceeded to be like, okay, well, now that I've got my sesame oil in here, I want a little bit of chili oil. Chili oil would be really nice with my eggs. And I proceeded to slip and basically like double glub like a giant chunk of chili oil into the fry pan.